Welcome to the Ultimate Fancast, where fans are the star of the show. Each week we explore the epic co-created Battle Bunnies franchise from legendary artist Frank and Christa and the team at Junkbox Studios. Ultimate fans join BBS, Lord L, and Brian as they dive deep into the extraordinary world of the Battle Bunnies. Plus, we'll be your guides and take you backstage with the creators and actors who are captivating family audiences worldwide. Are you ready to meet this week's Ultimate Fan? It's time to fan up and enjoy the show.
As you know, every week we have an Ultimate Fan, and today we definitely have an Ultimate Fan. Now, there's a bit of a debacle whether he's a prince or a king, but it's Prince Reginald III himself, Joey Vowels. Hopefully I said that right with my Aussie pronunciation.
Yeah.
We're excited to have you on here today, and we're excited to hear some awesome stories I'm sure you've got as you've been here for a while, as I last recall. But
yes,
definitely going to be an exciting Fancast today.
Yeah, I believe it. Actually, you go back before the Spartans. Like you were like, tell us the story. Like where did you get connected with Frank and Christa, and like take us back to the beginning.
Okay, so I met Frank and Christa because my wife and I are Disney fans like Frank and Christa, Star Wars fans, and I got on National Tattoo Day. I don't even remember what day that is in the US because everything has a day. I went and got a Mickey Mouse kettlebell. And the guy who did it horribly. Like, it was atrocious. Like, he had to be blind. And we stumbled across Christa and Frank's tattoo page. I don't know I think a friend actually sent it to us. Was like, oh, this is super cool. So I made an appointment to go in and see Christa, and she ended up turning it into this, right? So this is my now Mickey Mouse kettlebell tattoo.
Nice.
And then I ended up getting a tattoo on my leg. It's actually in the shape of a Mickey head with Avatar in it. So it's like the flying banshee, the Avatar eye. And then my third tattoo from her is actually my dog's paw print that passed away. So our friendship started through tattoos, Disney, Star Wars. And then like November-ish of 2021, Christa posted a picture of a bunny, and I was like, this is super cool. Do you guys know what NFTs are? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, you guys should maybe turn this into an NFT collection. They're like, oh, that's our plan. And I was like, cool. Do you have a Discord? Do you have a website? Do you have a Twitter? Do you have a roadmap? And they were like, what's that? And I was like, we need to get on a call. And that's kind of how it started.
Yeah, the great stuff happens after, like, they're like, what's that? You know, yeah. And so you were the one that introduced them to the NFT space and like what's required to like get a project off the ground, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so there was another guy at that time. There was just three of them. It was Frank, Christa, and dudes whose name I don't remember, who had introduced them into the idea of NFTs and what NFTs were. You know, he said he was a developer and he could do all this stuff for them and blah, blah, blah. But then when I reached out and I was like, and I had been in the NFT space for I was still relatively new. I had only been in the NFT space at that point for probably like 4 or 5 months. Like, I knew nobody. I went in like head first. I watched some stuff on YouTube and was like, okay, let's figure this shit out. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew enough to be like, okay, well, you can't just draw some pictures and expect people to buy them. Right. Like, there needs to be like a website. You need to market this a little, like, so that's where the whole, like, do you have this stuff? And they were like, what is all that? And then that's where I was like, listen, I would love to come on and help. Like, I'm passionate about this. So then it was just, at that point, it was just the four of us really just making it happen.
Nice. Yeah. And we just made Luke disappear.
He was so overwhelmed, just so overwhelmed, he couldn't, disappeared.
Like, Wow.
You blew him up. That's okay. He'll come back.
Yeah.
He's like a phoenix. He's just gonna rise
Sometimes
back into this.
You were there at the beginning, prior to the Genesis collection. Like what were those early conversations like with Frank and Christa? You're discovering what NFTs are, they're discovering, or you're using your experience, you're fully invested in NFTs, they're wanting to learn about it. What was some of the things that were happening during that time that got you to that first collection, that Spartan collection?
So initially, when we were trying to figure out like what we were going to do, right? Like at this point in the NFT space, it was like roadmaps were what people were always talking about, right? Like in 2021, when you had like the apes and doodles launch, it was literally just pictures and vibes. That was it. Nobody cared beyond that. And then as you got later into 2021 and the beginning of 2022, people were like, okay, well, that's not enough anymore. Like there has to be some substance here. Like what are you really doing with this money? What is the point of all this? So we started to build out like what the plan would be by basically pulling out like everything out of Frank's head, right? That's why he's Narf the Mad. And we would just kind of like pull out like all these ideas and visions he had. And simultaneously, the guy who started Carcaeus, whose name is also like Jesse Smith, right? Yeah. So simultaneously, he was building his world, Carcaeus, right? And all of his NFTs and what he was going to do. And Frank was like, oh, we're going to be a part of that. And like our land is going to be just a part of land and there. And then, so we were like, all this stuff just kept going around and around and around and around. And then one day, Frank mentioned Food Fight Studios and what they had done and their experience and their team. And I was like, yes, bring them on. Let's do it. Like, let's figure out a way to work together. Like the more people we can have, like the more resources, like let's come up with some really cool animations and this and that and whatever. So it took a long time because we were bringing on people and we're kind of like trying to figure out as the market was moving like what we really wanted to market and what we wanted to be, and it's still ever changing, right? Like the market is in the NFT space and the Web3 space is ever changing, but it was definitely interesting because we were a very small team, right? Like it was literally the four of us for the longest time. And then Food Fight Studios came on and they brought like everybody. They went like full on. There was like 12 of them that had jumped in to like help now. So now we had people actually responsible for like creating content and, business and operations. And so like really fast, it became almost like a real business. And we still hadn't even like minted a collection yet. But yeah, it was interesting because Frank, again, Frank has this incredibly creative mind. And it was like, how do we pull all of this out of his head and then actually put it on paper, right?
Yeah, and like from that initial bunny that you saw, like, did you know at that point, like, with your conversations with Frank, that it would turn into, the Battle Bunnies? Had that already come to shape, or was it just one of his, like, because I've seen some of his tattoos like that he had in his Lenatra collection.
Yep.
With that bunny on the motorcycle and stuff like that. Like, was it those? And then
I should have wore my shirt. I have a T-shirt of his. It's the tattoo that he did of like it's the animal that had its head. Oh, I'll go get it at some point.
Okay.
But I have a shirt of his and it was like a tattoo. But yeah, so my friend, he's the owner of a gym. We've been friends for a long time across a gym. He has like his whole, like it goes from like here all the way down to like his calf. And it's all these characters. They're all it's like a pirate scene. And it's like a dog and like, it's his dogs. Like they're named after his dogs, but they're like Frank's characters. It's like an incredible thing. But like when we first met, he had already had the Battle Bunnies, right? He had the 5 factions, the Vikings, the Valkyries, the Shamans, the Pirates, and the Sorcerers. They existed, right? They had a rough idea of like which were going to be the rarest, which were going to be, right? And, you know, which ones are going to be the most powerful and all that stuff. Like he had already, this is, you know, like his head was just like, we got to have points and this and that and weapons. And I was like, whoa. I was like, whoa, the NFT space is not ready for this. Like, whoa.
But to add to what you were saying before, though, Joey, like you said, when we were first created, when we first existed, and NFTs were like, they held their value because for some reason this thing's worth 10 grand, and there was no substance behind it. And then it was pretty quickly that we realized that you know there needs to be substance behind us, otherwise, what is it actually worth? And you know, seeing the bunnies we like you started at that exact time. You were about to launch a project or for like an NFT project according to the way that was, and to see how, like you said, Frank and Christa's and your minds are just full. It's like that's just when he went crazy. It's like, what, we have to give substance? Well, no worries. Well, we've got the substance, and like I think that was the pivotal point for a lot of projects, you know, that we've all been a part of that have been there. That it was at that point then where are they going to continue to bring the holders value? Are they going to continue to bring worth? And I think standing out from the crowd, that's how it is. Like, I think it was amazing the way that's come together. Like you said, it's all just come, like, you know, you got the food fight, you got you guys, you got, you know, Melly, you know, we've heard all these different stories in this fan cast, how each and every single person has had like some fingers in the pot, whether it was just someone saying something to someone actually doing the hard yards. And there was nothing really I just wanted to add to that point. Like, that is crazy to think like back then what would have been going through.
Yeah, I tell people I put myself through NFT college in like Q3 of 2021. Like, I lost a lot of money buying a lot of dog shit. Like, I got rugged, I got scammed. Like,
literally,
right? So
I got a wallet graveyard. If you ever want to go through
when we got together and we said we were going to do this, I was adamant that like that was not going to be us, right? Like, we were going to provide a realistic roadmap that we were going to deliver on, that was going to create a business. Like, I never looked at it as like an NFT project. I looked at it like we were building a business and a brand, which is exactly what I'm doing now at the company I'm with now. Like, to me, it was like, I'm here because of the technology. I'm here because of like what we can do with this technology, right? And like how we could advance the world and increase like what we're doing, right? So the idea of just releasing a monkey JPEG for the vibes like never resonated with me. So I wanted to make sure what we did with the Battle Bunnies was more than just a bunch of cute bunnies.
Yeah, and with Frank's like
factions, literally have done that.
Yeah, I mean, like he has like this big huge story in his head, but before you could get to the big story, you had to create something to gather, you know, a community. Like, you had to get started. So how did the Spartans come together? I think we talked a little bit in the pre-show, and John mentioned it. Like, he and I just catch up every now and then. He said you were integral for the Genesis 300. Like, that was all you. Like, that was something that you suggested, and it was perfect. You know, because there was.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say that the NFT space was going through a little bit of a slowdown or so with these these big, huge generative collections. And you know, so what I understand is like you guys had this idea for the 300, you know.
So we kind of like we started this in like November, December, right? And by the time we minted the Spartans in March, ETH had just started its downturn. Like, we were on the like precipice of the bear market, right? So like, if we could have, and I'm not going to point fingers, if we could have minted
we
sooner,
like pointing fingers here.
Yeah. So that fourth individual whose name I don't remember now, um, if we could have had our website and our smart contracts done sooner, we could have minted before the ETH downturn, right? So as so the guy I brought onto the project, I'm still good friends with him. We opened up our own agency after Battle Bunnies. His name's Mars. He had been in the space for a while. He was a market analyst in the NFT space. And he was very connected. And we kind of saw the writing on the wall. So we were like, okay, listen, we need to do a Genesis collection, right? Like we can't do 10,000 right now. It's just not going to work, right? Like we're not going to mint out. And at that time, if you didn't mint out, you were dead, right? Like if you tried to launch 10,000 and you only minted 2,500, nobody was going to touch you. Nobody would talk to you. Like you were going to the graveyard, right? So we had came up with the idea of, okay, well, let's do a Genesis collection. And Frank was adamant that he didn't want to break up the 10,000. He was like, I don't want to break up the Vikings, the Valkyries. Like, I don't want to touch those. That's their faction. They're together, whatever. So I said, okay, let's do a completely separate group. And I'm a huge 300 fan, the movie 300, right? King Leonidas and Gerard Butler, and they're boom, and he kicks him into the hole. Like I love it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So I said, why don't we do Spartans, right? It fits along with the Vikings and the Valkyries, right? Like let's do Spartans. And they were like, okay, cool. We'll do a six faction called the Spartans. So then Frank, ideated on it, was like, okay, they're going to be like the elite guard for the king. And then I said, okay, cool. And I said, wait, we have to do 300. Like, how do we have Spartans without having 300? Like, that's the perfect number, right? So we ended up going with the 300 Spartans. We minted out in about 3 days, 2 days, 3 days. We minted over the weekend, which probably wasn't the best time. So I think we minted on it was like March 25th or something like that, if I remember correctly.
I was
Right.
enjoying my breakfast on holiday. Yep.
Yeah.
Could have been great through the week. Like you said, weekend start, we're all enjoying our
I think
time.
we did it like over the weekend. It didn't. So either way, but we minted out. The Genesis collection, we gave it a bunch of utility. You always get first access, you get discounts, you get this, right? Like, and I still think the Spartans are like some of the best art he's created, like the shield wall behind the Spartan, and then like he created like the hole from the movie. Like it came out really good. So it was a success. And
No, I honestly think the exact. No, I think the same, because the way that it happened is, yes, we could have benefited from, like, imagine what like Frank and Christa and you and Food Fight Studios could have done with all the profits from the mint of a 10,000 mint, right? Don't get me wrong, but the fact that we did come in after that and we did the 300, I think it's the best thing that's ever happened, because man, we love our Spartans. The Spartans hold like so much like weight in, like they are like the Battle Bunnies, like they are the original, like, and I think that 300 Spartan, because the blessing and a curse, like we could have, like, imagine, like I said, we could have benefited with all that money into the Battle Bunnies franchise. Like, man, would be huge. But look where we are now without that, and having that 300, and eventually we're going to have 300 solid members, because obviously we know the 300 is dispersed between a lot of people, but slowly more and more people are getting their hands on Spartans. And you know the value of a Spartan when you're truly going for one. Like it's something. Everyone listening now has either got one or would love one.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was really fun. I thought, like I said, we started the idea. I don't like to take credit for things because we were a team, and I don't remember because it was so long ago, but I'm pretty sure I was the one that suggested Frank start drawing in the Discord for people.
Persuasively.
Yeah. And it started because of the Spartans, right? So we were like, hey, if we're gonna have a new collection, the Spartans, we need to draw it. Why not let people see it? And I could be wrong. I don't remember. Maybe it was Krista's idea. I don't remember. But it was like, yes, we need to be drawing this in front of people, let them see it, let them have input. That's how the holy hand grenade started, right? The holy hand grenade was not a trait in the collection until we were drawing live in the Discord. And somebody was like, you should have a holy hand grenade. And Frank was like, cool, holy hand grenade, right? So, and now it's become just like a regular occurrence, you know?
Yeah. The what do they call it? The drinking draws on Friday. Yep. It used to be weekly. I think we're now bi-weekly on that.
Yeah.
But still, it's, it's an opportunity to see Frank drawing and, creating the next and the next and the next. And like, we've seen some customs drawn there. We've seen some of the dragons, like dark dragons, like, and I've only been around for a year. I actually met John right after you guys did that March 2022 collection. Like I was at a conference with him in May, and he was talking about these battle bunnies and all this stuff. And I didn't understand what he was talking about. Like the only NFTs that I owned was like a never ending ticket for that conference that I was at. And then I had a whole bunch of ETH and stuff like that, and some rally tokens and some other things. So like, I wasn't into the digital art yet. I hadn't connected like, oh, I need NFTs because they have utility.
Rally, like the company Rally that does the
rally that went under, and like my tokens are worth 0. Yeah, like Rally.
Oh no, wrong Rally.
I'm not laughing at you, Brian. There's something else I'm thinking about.
I thought you were talking about
that
Rally.
Went dark real quick.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like Rally.com, the one that actually fractionalizes ownership of assets.
No.
Oh,
I had the social
I feel like
tokens.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, there was a social token that was based on the Rally coin or whatever.
It's okay. I have a lot of coins that are worth 0. You want to look at my wallet while we're on stream? It's terrible.
Yeah. I have a few coins like that, and that was I actually invested over 10 grand in these Rally tokens. Like I was investing in all these different like influencers, athletes, like all these people that I liked. I was like, I love the idea because I could buy an investment in like somebody that I was only buying their books or something like that. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to get a whole bunch of Joe Polizzi tilt coin. So I'd buy this tilt coin on the Rally network. And I was like, oh, this is great. And then all of a sudden, like everybody was like leaving and these tokens were going to nothing. And that $10,000 investment
you got stuck holding the bag.
I got stuck holding the bag. Yeah. But I will tell you this though. I'm now friends with Joe Polizzi. Like I know some of the people, Robert Rose, like who I invested in their tokens, because I invested so much in them. They wanted to find out who I was.
Yeah.
So that was worth it for me. That they give me access. It wasn't my intent initially, but I can tell you that, I wrote a book. Like I got included on a book with Joe, just because of that token and that, investing in his NFT and that kind of stuff. And
that's cool.
And without his conference, I wouldn't have met John. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't know Mike, you guys.
Well, that's the thing that we've all a general. That's what I always think too. Like NFTs always bring you to people like that. Like we get to meet Frank and Christa themselves. Like, and they're in obviously the Discord daily, 24/7. Like seriously, we get to like mingle with. That's half the reason why we're here is for the art. Well, was 100% why we were first drawn here anyway.
Yeah.
The tattoo. I mean, you were getting tattoos by Frank and Christa, by the Linatras before the NFTs ever were a twinkle in their eye. So that's really cool.
Continue to rub it in, Brian. All right.
Yeah, I know. Well, on the left side of the screen or right side, depending on where you're at, me and BBS, we are tattoo-less, but we would definitely have Linatras put art on us, like in a heartbeat. Like, I mean, I love their stuff.
I don't have a Frank piece. One day, maybe one day I can get him out of retirement to put something on me.
But your partner does. If they
said they're gonna.
I've seen that avatar, or like you were talking about. Like I've seen that art that he did. Like that. You said your partner has it on the side.
No, so like, the guy that owns the gym, that's my good friend.
Oh, the gym guy. Okay,
he has it. You've probably seen it. Frank shows it off a lot. It's huge.
Yeah,
it's like
I've seen it.
Dogs that look like pirates, and it goes like all the way down. You've
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
seen my avatar tattoo too.
I have a
Like,
shirt.
Krista
I
shows
have a
it
shirt
on.
of the
I have
dogs.
seen your
Yeah.
avatar tattoo. Like when you
Yeah.
described that, I've seen it in his collection.
Yeah, Krista shows that one off all the time. It came out sick.
Yeah,
And then
that's awesome.
my wife has a tattoo from Krista as well on the back of her arm. And then I have like another guy that used to be there. He did this whole arm. He like redid it for me because it needed to be like completely retouched up. But
Nice.
I don't have a Frank tattoo. So one day maybe I can get
Yeah.
Frank to put one on me.
Yeah.
Maybe
If
he'll
you're
put
listening,
Prince.
Frank, wink, wink. You know,
Yeah,
this
maybe
is
he'll put. Maybe I'll let him put
Wink, wink.
Prince Reginald on me one day.
Yeah, there you go. I think, yeah, I mean, I know that they've done some things. I think one of the prizes is to have Krista do a tattoo for somebody on the DPS, right? Like the DPS.
We used to do. If you talk about prizes, so like some of our utility back when we first started was like, so Food Fight Studios was building out like a Oculus kind of space where
Mhm.
like Frank and Krista were going to host like drawing classes, right? And then like one of our utilities was like, excuse me, like we had this like thing, like if you minted so many and then whatever, like at some point it was like tattoos, and then Frank was like, no, I don't want to do more tattoos. I'm drawing NFTs so I don't have to do more tattoos. And we were like, but Frank, everybody wants your tattoo. So like we went through like a whole list of all kinds of utilities and of what we can offer if you own so many and whatever. So at one point we were trying to get Frank to like tattoo people. And he was like, listen, if you really come to my tattoo shop and you want me to tattoo a Battle Bunny, I'll do it. But we're not doing it as like a utility. And I was like, fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Doug was the first one to get a Battle Bunny.
Yep.
And he did a light dragon. He did that. Was it? What was the breed?
Hawkhead?
Oh, the spotted hawkhead. He has
Yeah.
that spotted hawkhead on his thigh. And that turned out sick too, like that,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, like you said, it's not, you know, it's the prizes are not that, because you know how much, like, you know, tattoos, that's a huge investment of time and that kind of thing. So yeah, but you know, I know they have been very generous. There's a lot of people in our community that are here because they want a Spartan. Like, you know, these Spartans are not cheap.
Right?
Like, as somebody that came in as a secondary person, like you can't get anybody to like sell for
one?
less.
No.
Yeah, I mean it was like, and you can see I've got a few of them. I've been a very active collector in the last year. I just celebrated my 1-year anniversary in the community, and it took, you know, not, this isn't financial advice, but I paid a premium for a lot of stuff just to get access.
Well, people don't want to sell their Spartans. And I'll be honest, there's probably still some people that own Spartans that over the years, the way the space kind of went into a deep bear, probably just aren't active either. So like some of those Spartans are sitting in wallets that'll probably they'll just never get sold, because when the bear market hit in 2022 and lasted for 18 months, right? Like maybe more, people just disappeared, right? Like they were losing money or they lost interest. And so some of those Spartans will probably never get sold because they're just they're gonna sit in wallets that people just don't, they're either not active or they left the space. So there's very few of them.
Yeah, there's definitely been a couple that didn't claim their cards. Because like you said, they left, they didn't know that the cards were, you know, up to be claimed. And that, you know, that's unfortunate, because like we would love to have all those Spartans in the hands of somebody, but I guess for the rest of us that actually still hold the Spartans and are active in the community, still active in the space, that just means that it's even more rare. Like it's less than 300, and we don't know how many less than 300, but you know, it's pretty awesome. And the after the Spartans, like what was next? Like what, you know, after you guys, I mean, what was the next, like you knew next we were going to be working on the Series 1 collection, or like how did things unfold that after that initial launch?
So after the Spartans, that's kind of where we kind of went our different ways. So I envisioned, again, I came to this space because of the technology. Like I truly believe in the blockchain and what the blockchain can provide and the underlying technology of NFTs, right? Like an NFT can be defined 100 different ways, right? Like it doesn't have to just be a picture, like a piece of art, right? So at that point, my vision and like what I wanted for the project was to really lean into the blockchain technology, Web3, like being a forward, like being a tech company, right? Like how do we continue to integrate tech and build on chain to create like this, to bring to life all of these ideas in Frank's head, right? Like I had all these ideas about the website and like interactive maps and all this stuff. And you know, Food Fight Studios, they were not Web3, right? Like, um, um, oh my God, I'm drawing such a blank. Mike, right? Like he didn't know what an NFT, like he like
he
didn't
didn't
even,
know.
no, he had
Yeah,
like, no, he didn't own an NFT. He didn't know what an NFT was. Like he had no idea when he came over, right? Like he was an ops guy, I mean, he was literally the ops guy. That's his name, right? Like he's a great ops guy. And he did an incredible job managing what we needed at the time. I ended up bringing on another developer who ended up becoming my partner as well. Me, Mars, and this guy Simon opened up our own agency after we left Battle Bunnies. But like Mike managed those devs, and he had no idea what he's doing. Like he was literally like learning on the fly, and he did an incredible job. So they were not a Web3 company, right? Like they worked in the Web2 space, movies, documentaries, right? So they were also learning. They wanted to lean into what their strengths were. And Frank did too, is like we're not Web3 people, we're not tech people, right? So they wanted to go more into the like IRL space, which is what you have now with the TCG game.
While I go to the bathroom.
What is that? Oh, while I go to the
He's
bathroom.
stepping away for a minute. That's his avatar. He thinks. I don't know.
So they wanted to lean into like the IRL physical Web 2 stuff. And I didn't want to do that. Like I wanted to continue to build like on the blockchain. I wanted to create a TCG that was on the blockchain. Like I wanted us to not a physical, not on Steam. Like I wanted something that was, crypto Web3 native. So at
kind of
that
like
point,
Parallel or something like that. Like
yeah, yep, Parallel TCG, Gods Unchained. There's a few of them out there, right? So at that point, like it just kind of didn't make sense because our vision for the future didn't align. Like I still supported them and I was like, listen, if this is what you guys want to do, that's fine. I'm just not the right person now because I want to build tech. Like I want to build on the blockchain. I don't want to build a IRL TCG. Like that wasn't I didn't read fantasy books. I didn't play TCG. Like that wasn't my thing. So it wasn't fair to them for me to stay on if that's not what I believed in, right? So I ended up starting my own agency with Simon and Mars in 2022, like April, like the end of April-ish, beginning of May. We worked with over like 20 NFT projects in 2022. In all different kinds of shapes and sizes. We wrote contracts, we built websites, we did marketing, we built Discords, we built out roadmaps, we supplied moderators and collab managers. Like we did everything. But I think that it was the best thing for us because after I left, the idea of the community novel came out. Like all this stuff that appealed to their community and their audience was created that I probably would have been like, no, this is dumb. Right? Not because it was dumb, it was really smart, but because I wanted to be on chain. Like I would have never said, let's write a book. Like it's just not what I would have been like, no, we need to build tech. So it worked out for the best because they they developed and created things that their community wanted, and they didn't care that it wasn't like, it wasn't what the tech was. They were just going to build what they wanted, and that's what I love about them. They're doing what they want because it's what they want and what their community wants. They're not looking at like the giant landscape and saying like, oh well, Pudgy Penguins has toys, we should do toys, and this project, like they're like, no, this is what we want to do. This is what makes us happy, and this is what makes our community happy. So we're going to do it.
Yep.
Yeah. Now we've been Luke's back
with a cocktail.
The cocktail.
Isn't it like 10 in the morning there?
It is. Yeah.
No, it's like it's like one in the afternoon. Like
it's one in the, that's right. You're
sunny
2 hours.
And beautiful day.
Yeah. 12 plus 2, 14 hours.
Oh,
so yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's what we love is like they are very responsive to what the community wants, and like you said, like if your focus was tech, then that would be like it wouldn't align. Yep. Because their project, but is in any of those projects, or are there some that we would know about that you've worked on since or the others in the community, like what are some of your favorites? I guess.
I mean, I worked on Vayner Sports Pass.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
Which
I'm familiar with that. I went to VCon. I saw a lot. I saw Pudgy Penguins at VCon, and Vayner Sports was there, and a bunch of.
I would call that a soft rug, but sorry,
What's
Gary.
That?
I said I'd call Vayner Sports Pass a soft
He's
rug.
He's gonna watch this now.
But
yeah. Gary is not watching our Fancast.
Yeah. So we worked on Vayner Sports Pass.
And if he does because of this, Joey, thank you.
Can it what? What else have we worked on?
No, we're just saying that
we like
Gary V ain't gonna watch this, but if he does because we're sweet.
Probably not. They at the time they were good projects, but of course it was the bear, so it was really difficult for these projects to really like take hold and like do something. We worked on a project called Chrysalism, which was really cool, but the bear just absolutely killed him.
I remember hearing about that one. Yeah, like
they were like an on-chain. They built out their own tech, and it was like this on-chain generative evolution of your NFT. And it was all based. They were like one of the founders was like a what do they call it? One of those insect geeks.
Yeah, I don't know what the word
something
is.
Homologist or something, whatever.
Yeah,
so
entomologist or something.
Yeah, or something like that. So like the idea was you would mint like a larva, and on like information would get entered into the blockchain, which would turn into an algorithm, which would evolve your larva into whatever. And they'd spent a lot of money building this out, but it was the dead of the bear. Like at this point, it was like, I don't know, Q4 of 2022, which was like just brutal. Like ETH was in like the thousands. Like it was just bad.
I know I bought a lot at the high and,
sold a lot at the low. Yeah.
No, I kept buying. So I bought a lot at the low too.
Dollar cost average.
Yeah. Dollar cost averaging. That's not a bad strategy, but then I put a lot of it into the bunnies. So, I converted that ETH into NFTs now. So like, it's not been a bad thing. Like if I look at the change, like now we're back up to close to $4,000 again on the ETH. And, but yeah, it's, again, we try to disclaim here that we're not trying to give financial advice. We love the project. We love the people. We love the community, like the art, everything. So we're not telling people you need to get into the Battle Bunnies because it's a great investment, because we saw how that worked for those founders that did that. They're now appearing in court.
Yep. Exactly. Not good.
Yeah. Is there anything you're excited about right now? Like what? Yeah. Like with the space and the blockchain, like anything that's captured your attention and what you guys are working on right now?
Yeah, so not to soft shill, but I'm going
No,
to
go ahead
anyway.
and chill. This is what the
So
space is for, man.
so I
This is
am
our fan cast, so we like to promote our community members.
yeah,
So chill
so
away.
I am big in real life use case of the blockchain. So I have a saying, the industries that need the blockchain the most are the ones that want it the least. So the banks, the governments, the political parties, right? Like the mortgage brokers, right? Like all the people that should be giving us transparency and provenance and immutability with record keeping, they don't want it. So I like so I've been pushing the idea of like we need to penetrate real life. And the company I'm part of now, it's called The Colony. We are tokenizing real world assets. So we are taking things like, $10,000 Pokemon cards and putting them into a vault. So we have a partnership with Brinks. So that card gets sent to our vault at Brinks. We then scan it, digitize it, and you get a digital twin or an NFT. And that allows you then to buy, sell, and trade with anybody anywhere in the world, right? Without ever having to worry about shipping or listing fees or is it real? What's like, I mean, we all know the story of Logan Paul that bought like a fake Pokemon card for like $10 million or something like that, right? Or he bought like, oh no, he bought like an unopened box of Pokemon cards from like the first generation or something. It was worth like whatever it was, 5 million, and then come to find out the person used a hair dryer to like open everything up and whatever. So like what we're trying to do is solve for all of these real world logistical problems by using blockchain technology. So um, again, like if you are at all into collectibles, websites like Whatnot, where people are literally streaming for 5 or 6 hours, ripping open packs of cards or showing off their sneakers, trying to convince people to buy, and then they have to spend 5 or 6 hours packaging all of that up and bringing it to UPS, and right, like it's just so we're solving for a lot of real world problems by utilizing the blockchain to make things more accessible. And then as you grow and scale, you're hopefully going to see things like real estate, carbon credits, gold, silver, like all of these things that we should like diamonds. So, what's the diamond grading company? GSA, right?
Mhm.
Is that the
Yeah.
diamond grading company,
Yep.
right? Like
Yep.
they've played around with blockchain technology and being able to track like where a diamond was mined, right? Is it a blood diamond? Is it not? Where was it mined? How did it get here? How many different hands? And so I'm most excited for a lot of the real world asset projects. There's a project right now on Blast called Kettle Finance, which is doing things with watches. So they've got like tons of luxury watches, like even vintage stuff like from the 90s where you go, you buy a box and then you reveal your box and then there's a watch. You can choose to redeem that watch if you want, or you can hold it, sell it, trade it, right? um,
Mhm.
DPIN, which is decentralized physical networks, that's like it's really cool technology with the blockchain. Chainlink is one of the big. Have you ever heard of Chainlink? They have their own token. This is not financial advice, but Chainlink is an amazing blockchain and company that's building things that connect off-chain data with on-chain data.
Hmm.
So stuff like that, I'm really excited about. Um, when it comes to like the PFP world, I mean, there's only a. I am a very bearish individual because realistically, like, how many Hello Kitties are there? How many Disneys, right? So, if we've got 1,000 PFP brands that are claiming to be the next big brand, how many of them are really going to be the next big brand, right?
Mhm.
Um, what else? I think Web3 gaming is a joke. I'm very bearish on Web3 gaming. Like the idea of like creating games like on the blockchain with like crypto, I think is I don't see it. I think You need to utilize the blockchain to make gaming better, not move gaming onto the blockchain. There's a new company I just found out about, book.io. Really cool. They issue you books as NFTs. So like instead of like, so for example, like how many books, if you're a book reader out there, think about how many books you've bought on your Amazon Kindle, right? Or your Audible account. And how many times do you read that same book? Maybe once or twice. And now you've got 150 books sitting on there that you can't do anything with. Book.io is allowing you to buy the book. After you read it, you can go resell it now because the book is an NFT.
Yeah, that's
right.
So,
So like,
I got
like,
350 books on my Audible.
I don't read
account,
books,
so-
but it sounds good.
right? Like how many, Brian, how many times have you read those 350 books?
Some of them like 3 or 4 times I've listened through the book, but most of them it's a one time and done.
And how much did you pay for them? $5-10 a book?
I paid $25 a month for 2 credits, and that gets me 2 books a month.
Yeah. So now imagine if you could sell one of those books for a credit, right?
Yeah.
Or
I mean,
half a credit,
Amazon will
whatever it
allow
is,
you to return one that you don't like, and they'll give you your credit back, but that's not the same as selling it. That's a return.
Correct.
Right,
So like,
yeah.
so the use cases like that are really cool, right?
Yeah, I love that.
Solving real world problems.
I've heard of
and
your
then-
colony, by the way. Just like when I saw that when that came out, that partnership with the Brinks, we thought that was really cool. There was actually several people in the community that were like excited about that. I thought like Klopping or somebody else like was like jumping in on that, like because they got it. They completely
one day
understood.
we're gonna work with Frank. I told Frank one day he's gonna keep building the Battle Bunnies. And hold on. And one day,
Kids only get it.
yeah, and one day these cards will get graded by PSA or Beckett or CGC, right?
Yeah.
They'll get an actual grade. We will vault them in our vault, and we will drop you an NFT version of them that you'll be able to buy, sell, and trade however you want. Think about like from a liquidity perspective, right? So do any of you collect anything valuable?
Oh yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
not NFT.
No. Baseball cards,
Okay,
like
so
comic
what's
books.
so like what's the most expensive collectible you think you have right now, Brian?
I probably have a couple comic books that are, couple $1,000s each.
Okay.
Those like my brother has like hundreds, if not $1 million worth of baseball cards. Like
Okay.
he's got a huge collection. Yeah.
So
I mean,
here's a great example. So let's say you wanted to buy a second property, right? Maybe it's a rental property, and you're sitting on a Amazing Spider-Man #1. Maybe that's worth $100,000. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Could you walk into your bank, ask them for a loan, and put that Amazing Spider-Man comic book up as lateral? Nope. But if you tokenize it, you put it in our vault, you tokenize it, you put it on chain, there's something called NFT-Fi. NFT-Fi is like decentralized finance for NFTs, right? You can take out loans and offer loans on things. So now you take that NFT that's worth 100,000 because there's a physical comic book attached to it, and you go onto an NFT-Fi platform and you say, hey, who wants to give me a loan for $75,000? I'm willing to take 12% for 90 days. You get your 75 grand, you go buy that property or whatever it is, you short Bitcoin, you buy Amazon stock, whatever. As long as you pay back the loan, you don't lose your Amazing Spider-Man #1. And you now just created a new stream of liquidity with those assets.
It almost feels like a digital pawn shop. I know that's not what it is, but it has the ability to hold an asset.
Digital loan shark.
All you need a short term. Digital loan shark.
Yeah.
Now I like my collectibles, and that's why I like the separation of, I have the NFT world and then I have the
physical
my collectibles.
Yep.
Yeah. So how what's the workaround for folks like that are just like, hey, this is why I have it. Like, I know it's real and I can look at it every day, and that's what I want. I don't want to send it to a vault. Like,
So
what's the
you
workaround for
can
that?
redeem anything you want, right? So if you come onto our platform, like right now we have vintage video games, we have comic books, like we have an unopened Pac-Man from like like it's an Atari Pac-Man, right?
Oh,
It's
wow.
worth like $500 or something like that. Um, you could redeem any item you want from the vault and take the physical, and then we burn the NFT and it's gone, right?
Yeah.
For most people, this is what you have to think about too. So Brian, your brother, and for you, BBS, do you pay for all the collectibles you guys have in your house? Do you pay for supplemental homeowners insurance?
Some of the stuff we do, yeah.
Yeah,
My
some-
brother, I know he definitely does. Like he
Okay, so
has,
think about what he
he
pays
has.
think about what what do you pay in supplemental homeowners insurance to insure $1 million worth of collectibles in your house?
I don't have that kind of policy, but I know that like some of the stuff that we have, like some supplementals that's $100 a month, like in total or something
Yeah,
like
it's
that
not
that we
bad.
pay.
Yeah,
And
so
But you need it. You definitely need it.
correct, but you're paying over the 10 years, you're paying what? 20, 15 grand in insurance,
yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure.
Okay, you could put it in our vault for like $5.
Like one time or every month. It's
So if
monthly,
you're
right?
well, it depends. If you're part of the inner hive, you will never be charged a vaulting fee. If you're part of the inner hive, that's like our Spartans, if you will,
Mm.
right? If not, right now we don't have a vaulting fee. So we haven't committed to when that's going to end and what it will be. But I can tell you it's going to be a lot less than $120 a month, right?
Mhm.
It'll be maybe, let's say hypothetically speaking, let's just say hypothetically speaking, it's $25 a month, right?
Mhm.
But it's never going to catch fire. It's never going to get water damage. It's never going to get stolen, right? Because it's in Brinks's vault. So you think about it from that perspective too. Like I get BBS's point of view where he wants to touch it and see it and feel it. But some people, they're okay with having like their whole collection that they can show off on their phone, knowing that
Mhm.
all of their assets are safe, you know? So it's also that perspective, not just from like a trading liquidity perspective, but from a financial safety perspective.
Yeah.
Right. No, I get it.
But yeah,
And I
one
think it's
day
a
for
great
sure.
Yeah.
service. And I love that it's you're connected to things too.
Yeah,
I told
Brinks is
Frank
a
one
solid
day we're
name in
definitely doing
security.
something.
Yeah.
But I've told Frank one day when he blows up the Battle Bunnies, we'll make sure all of his cards are in the vault. People get to vault their cards and get them on chain.
You need to vault his collection of lightsabers. I hear he's
I
got.
have
Yeah, I know.
I hear
I
he's
have
got a
two
massive
myself.
collection of those.
Yeah, I have two of them myself.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
we are
great.
big.
Are
Me and
you in
him
the
are big
Florida
Star
area
Wars
with him?
fans.
Or were you in the Florida area with them? Like
Yeah,
in the general?
I lived
Okay.
like our houses are probably only about, when he lived here, we were probably lived only about 20, 25 minutes apart. And the tattoo shop was about 35 minutes from my house. So we did Halloween Horror Nights together.
That's fun.
Yeah, we've done stuff together. Yeah.
That's on my bucket list.
That's what?
I'm doing that in September.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so what they used to do is they would get like
Doing the horror nights.
That's awesome. He would what he would used to do at his tattoo shop is they would shut the tattoo shop down and they would do the private tour. So all of his employees and like they would bring like a +1 and they would do a private tour where you get like front of the line access and da 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 da. And they would always do that. And then the next night they would just kind of go and chill. And that's when we would be there and then we would hang out with them. But yeah, they're really good people. That's the thing and I say this all the time when people ask me about like what makes a good project and and I always point to Frank and Christa and the fact that like every day they come in, they say good morning, they say good night, they're present, they're involved. And granted, it's a smaller community and a smaller project, so they're able to do it. But like it just makes the world of a difference. Like, so for example, Luca Netz gets a lot of credit for what he does, right? He's done an incredible job with Pudgy Penguins. Every event that you go to, every Pudgy Penguin event you go to, when you're standing in line, Luca stands about halfway up the line outside the front door, shaking every person's hand that walks by and saying, hey, good to see you again. What's going on? Is this your first Pudgy event? Are you from New York? Whatever, right? That's exactly what Frank and Christa do every single day in the Discord, right? And if they could do it in person, they would. And that's what separates like elite founders from everybody else, right? Like you're either in it because you are truly passionate and you love what you're doing, or you're in it because you think there's an opportunity to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can
There's
see through that.
many of those. Yeah, too many
Well, now
people
we
like-
can with so many projects that have gone bad. But
Yeah. Well, we're about an hour in, and
Yeah,
I haven't even like shown your collection, like some of your like if
yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
We were talking about the Spartans earlier, and I was like, I probably shouldn't bring these in, but you have some Spartan stories. You were there at the beginning, like like this is
So my
one
pride,
of
I don't
two.
own my pride and joy anymore. My pride and joy is gone, and I'm still sad about it. Like,
Yeah, tell us about your pride and joy. I'll actually I'll bring it
hear
up and
this.
I'll show it in post, like because I don't have it right now. But
yeah.
tell us about the
So-
pride and joy and the story behind that.
Okay, so we minted the 300 Spartans, and there was an error in the contract, and we actually only minted 299. So what we did was we said, okay, well, what's the fairest thing to do? And we said, let's do a raffle. So when all 299 were minted out, we held a raffle for Spartan 300. It just so happens that the 300th Spartan was also a King Leonidas, right? One of those special, I think there's only 7 or 9 of them.
There's 7 of them, yeah.
7. So he was in all gold. He had the black goatee. So it was the all gold Leonidas. I thought it was the best looking one of them all. And we did a raffle. And of course, it was basically we drew a number 1 through 299, right? Well, Very Hoppy, who at the time owned like 100 and something Spartans, obviously had the best chance of winning, and his number got called, and he won 300. And I really wanted it because it had sentimental value to me, since I was the one that was like, we should do Spartans and we should do 300 of them. And we got it conversation. He said, listen, I respect that, like, blah, you want this, blah, 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 blah. So we minted the Spartans for 0.25 ETH. So he was like, listen, I'll just sell it to you for the mint price, 0.25, what I paid for it. And I was like, amazing. Thank you so much. And I held on to it for a really long time. And then as I started to get busier with like my other projects and businesses, I didn't think it was fair for like such an amazing Spartan to just be sitting in my wallet as somebody who wasn't that active in the community anymore. It really belonged with somebody that like was more present, right? So I sold it, regrettably. Like I still to this day like regret selling it. It was literally
Hearing this story makes me think, though, Joey, that no one else actually deserved it more than you anyway, bro. So I think you're tripping. Doesn't matter how active you were or non-active you were. Like you said, you shouldn't have sold
I regret
it. I'm the elephant in the room, but man, you shouldn't have sold it.
I know, I regret it.
Especially from those background. If you didn't need the money, if you weren't in a financial hardship, then man, shame on you. You deserve that.
This guy's fudding me live on the podcast. No, you know what? In hindsight, I didn't need the money. I didn't. And it wasn't about the money. It was honestly, like I said, it was honestly about the fact that like I was never going to sell all my Spartans. I was always going to keep the 2 of them. But like I said, like I just felt like it belonged with somebody that was like more active in the community, right?
Yeah.
And it was like literally right before they issued the cards too. So if I would have kept it for like 5 more days, I would have actually got the card, but lost the NFT, and then I could have at least still had a piece of it.
Wow.
But the card ended up going to the person that bought it, so it's okay. It's still a good story, and
as much as shade as I just put on that to you, Joey, I'm sorry. Like the person that got that though, you would have made their year. So look, like you said,
is he still active?
it's not all bad. Like
I'm looking it up right now.
Isn't it Glock's?
Yeah, I
Isn't,
think
isn't
Glock
it
got it.
Glock's? I thought Glock got it. I'm pretty sure Glock got it.
That sounds
And
about right. I think that's who might have bought it.
I know
I'm going through this
I know
collection.
Glock's got a
There's
nice,
only
beautiful
300. It's
golden
taking me
looking
forever.
one.
You know, you could search. I could
You
probably
could
find
just
it.
put in
for
the
free.
number
Yeah,
300.
just put in the number.
I
300.
did put 300. It went to the whole collection.
No.
And now I'm like, how many are there of these things? Goodness.
There's 300 of them, but if you just do in the search box number 300, it typically just goes to that one.
I'm telling you, I did that.
When you said the black beard one, I was like, maybe that's Glock's, because I know
So
Glock's
the other
has
thing
a
you can
black
do is you
beard,
can sort.
but then it might be
Yeah, hold on.
Leonidas.
Yeah.
That should be a trait,
Yeah,
isn't
so if you go to
it?
traits and you go to, hold on.
BBS is probably not even looking it up. He's
on his
to the
phone.
left of him, and
You're
we're
on
just
your
I'm on
phone,
the
aren't
waiting
you?
on him.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different on the phone than it is on his desktop.
Hold on. I got it. I got you. Hold on.
I have a whole spreadsheet, by the way. If I wasn't showing this screen, I've got a spreadsheet that lists every owner. So I could have just looked it up in 2 seconds, but
I got it. Hold on.
You're just watching us all
Okay.
squirm.
yeah, I'm
It
watching you
went
guys.
to-
Brian's loving it.
Okay. It went to B hit.
This is the best
Actually,
thing
it went to somebody else
B.
before B.
Oh,
No, it
no.
went to somebody
After
else
B
before
hit-
B hit.
No,
Yeah.
so it went to, so it went to, no, I sold it to B hit. I sold it to B hit. Then B hit put it in his vault. And then B hit sold it to Aaron Favre Meta.
Ooh, the plot thickens.
Who's Aaron
Oh.
Favre Meta?
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, Aaron, his name
You're
is
off the hook,
Aaron
Glock.
Favre. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, Aaron
Favre.
is the guy in charge of DPS.
Yeah, he's the
Poker
founder of
Society.
Dead Poker Society. So he
Yeah,
bought it
yeah.
from B
B
hit,
Hit.
and it now belongs to Aaron Favre, the founder of Dead Poker Society.
When
So
did,
it's in
when did
good
Aaron
hands.
buy it? Yeah,
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 it's in
both
good
of those
hands.
guys are great guys.
Aaron
it-
bought it 1 year ago. If you own
No,
any
mine's
Spartan, you
like
shouldn't be
what
complaining.
300. Mine's literally near the bottom. So
That's okay. You have a
it's
Spartan.
okay.
You
Yeah.
have
I
a
mean,
hot
there's
plate.
only-
It's, you know,
How many
Yeah.
holders are there? Let's see, 152 owners.
okay, so yeah.
Yeah, so there's only a 51% unique count. So even just owning one of them is a great deal because there's not enough. Oh wait, there is a King Leonidas listed. It looks like
Yeah, I think they're wanting 1 ETH for right now.
0.99.
0.99. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is leftover Joe.
And it doesn't
It's-
come with the card, I think, or I don't think they're offering up the card with it because
I
they
think
didn't.
this is a Leonidas, right? Yeah, this is a Leonidas. Yeah. Or is it? Is it not? Yeah, it is. It's a Leonidas. It's the Graybeard Leonidas, all gold.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you'd have to look at rarity rank just to make sure. I don't have my list. I could pull up the spreadsheet and tell you for sure if it's a King Leonidas because I have them.
But yeah, and then obviously then
BBS is.
we went into the 10,000. I have quite a few. I think I have whatever the cutoff is. Is it 4 or 5 per class? I have whatever that is.
Yeah,
5
here's your
per-
2. Yeah, here's your 2, and then you have like that's your Prince
That's my
Reginald
Prince
III.
Reginald. Yep.
And
so
then you've got like a bunch of the.
wait, go back to
different-
Prince Reginald real quick.
Yeah.
So funny story. So when we first started, right, we all got to build our own bunnies. So I built this one myself. And then John actually wrote the backstory for Prince Reginald. So
Oh,
this is pre-chat GPT. So I am not a great writer. So now I use chat GPT to help me with everything. So at the time I was not a great writer and I was like, hey, John, I need to write a backstory about my bunny. So John actually wrote the backstory. He came up with the name Crags of Croy. That's where my bunny's from. That's where he's the prince. Like the story of like how I lost my eye and like he wrote the whole story for me for Prince Reginald III. And funnier story, I actually wanted to buy a bunny. So I have a bunny. His name's Trooper. He's a Netherlands dwarf. He's a little black. He's black and white. That's why I named him Trooper because of stormtroopers. He's a
Nice.
Netherlands dwarf bunny. So I had that bunny prior to this, but I'm a big believer in like synergies in the universe and stuff like that. So I owned a bunny, then Frank came out with the bunnies, and I was like, this just makes sense. And when I first got our bunny, I wanted to name our bunny Prince Reginald III. And my wife was like, no, we're not naming the bunny that. So then we settled on the name Trooper for Stormtrooper because it was black and white. So then this came around and I was like, that's it. My bunny is going to be Prince Reginald III. So that's the name.
And he's
Reginald
black and
III.
white. And he's
Yep.
black and white. He's got the tiger.
Yep. Exactly. Yep.
Nice.
And John wrote the backstory.
Very cool. Yeah, and then you were talking about the bunnies. Like you have a number of different bunnies. You've got I had never, when I pulled up your collection and I saw that you had this ape banana thing,
bomb.
I'd never seen it. Like I'd never seen it in the collection, and there's only like 8 of them. Like
so the idea was we had, so again, the story of like the holy hand grenade, right? So somebody had suggested like, oh, we should do like we all know memes rule the internet, right? Memes rule everything. So like somebody was like, it would be like, what would be more mimetic than having our bunnies holding a banana toying with the apes because of the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Right. So somebody was like, we should draw a banana. And it's like, we're playing with the board, the apes. So Frank drew a banana. And the banana is to make fun of like the Bored Apes. Or not make fun of, but like use it against them,
Yeah, use it as like a nod to the bunnies or to the Bored Apes.
Yep.
Because this is one of the ones where it's in the left hand, and then they've got some where it's in that sword hand, the right hand.
Yep.
That they're holding it up like it's a sword. But this one I'd never seen before in the left hand.
Yep.
And I was like, wow. And I think it's like Apes of Wrath or something like that, or it has like some sort of like name like that as far as the trait. I could be wrong, but I thought it was really cool, and I knew that BBS would love it because he's a pirate. He loves loves all kinds of unique pirate stuff.
Yeah.
I think Brian BBS is also the master of like creating something out of nothing. Like he's got the eye patch gang happening. He's gonna have the banana crew rolling around now. It's gonna be like, if you got an eye patch and a banana, that's it. Ultimate pirate. I seen him jot it down. Do you see him straight away?
Yeah.
Banana on pirate. Straight away, I seen him run it down. No, I'm joking with you. Sorry.
And then you got the eyeglass guy. You don't see a lot of these in the collection. They,
the funny glasses.
The funny glasses and stuff. Yep. And then you got this.
I love the way that Frank's added those things that were cruising around the NFT area. How, a lot of the NFTs had the funny glasses.
That's one of my favorite
and the crazy
ones,
eyes. And seeing Frank do it.
Which
one you just showed?
Which one?
This one because I'm very I'm super OCD when it comes to traits. Like when I buy things from other projects, I really like to make sure my traits match or they go together. So like this one is one of my favorites.
It looks like King Reginald's wife.
Well, that, and because the spears are the same as the shield, which also match the wings. So like it's this whole aesthetic thing for me where like so like it all goes well together. Like if you look at some of the other NFTs I own, like my Pudgy Penguin, for example, like the Pudgy Penguin I own has a Pudgy, it's Igloo company. He's got an Igloo hat with an Igloo hoodie, right? Like it works. Yeah, exactly. So this is like one of my favorite ones because it just, the Rarity machine just pumped out one that aesthetically matches. Yeah.
No, it's nice. Like this is one that popped out for me too. And these others are just kind of like, these are some of your other ones that you had.
Yep.
Like, oh yeah, I'll just grab some of those and throw it in.
Even like the coffee mug. The coffee mug was an idea from the community too, because every morning, right, like people would be like, GM, who's got their cup of coffee, right? Christa drew that GM coffee mug sticker, right, in the Discord, and it just became this thing where everybody was like, good morning, cup of coffee, right? And it was like, well, guess we need to have a cup of coffee trait in the collection now. And there's the cup of coffee trait,
Yeah, you got 2 pink coffee mugs and 1 white one in your collection here. So yeah, that's it's cool. We play games on here. I don't know if you want to play a game. I created a new game. It's what colors are ye flying?
Okay.
And I don't know what your class is. Like when you initially
Viking.
you're a Viking class. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I
So
was the
you can
leader of
still
the
play this.
Vikings, so like I was the one that helped come up with like the war chant and the different stickers and all that stuff.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a
This
Viking.
is more for a game for BBS is going to have his own special game like for this, like Pirate Mothy. I'm going to have play this, but I was creating this and it's a simple game. Also, there's like, if you look at the collection, these are all the different pirate eye
Okay.
patches. And so like 69% of the
Okay, real
pirates
quick,
have an eye
before
patch.
you explain about the eye patch, can we just admire the detail in the eye patches? Like,
Yes.
it's not just an eye patch. Like, there's literally like that one, the eye patch for the hell one. Like, there's literally like squiggle lines and like a reflection in the skull. Like, people talk to me all the time about like, ooh, who's got the best art? And I'm always like the Battle Bunnies. They're like, huh? And I'm like, just trust me. Like
Yeah.
the absolute
Frank.
detail that he puts into it's crazy. These are eye patches, people. Eye patches. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, he loves it. Like, so yeah, I mean, like with the pirates, there's 13 different eye patches. Like you've got all this variety. You've got like the skull eye patches. You've got like, all this cool stuff. So this game is simple. And for today's game, it's going to be one of these four. So it's either going to be the eye patch of hell, the blue eye patch, the purple eye patch, or the purple skull eye patch, which that's Grace O. Murphy, which is BBS's in this picture. And he has like a whole backstory for these purple skull eye patch.
Purple eye patch gang.
Yeah, he's got his own gang.
Coming to GTA 6, the purple eye patch gang.
Yeah. And then you've got the green eye patch, which you have a green eye patch. So you're already part of this game, but so here's how it'll work. I'll just show you like this one, and then I'll say, what color are ye? It's and then you say what you think it is based on what you can see. You're not going to get any hints because the generative nature. So you have to. Well, this one you can. Dang it.
I was going to say this one's green.
Dang it. Yes, you're right. This one is green. Of course. You know this one.
Yep.
Like, I hope I didn't screw that up on all these other ones because I haven't seen it on the big screen like this. All right. So the next one. Here we go. Yeah, you cannot tell.
Okay.
So what do you think?
So that blinked and I saw the patch.
I think.
Yes.
I think this one is.
We have to get Joey to look away.
It was. Okay, hold on. So it was green, purple, hell.
Oh yeah. We'll go back. You got the hell.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Blue,
purple,
green,
blue, hell, or green. Okay, I'm ready.
Yep.
I'm going with purple for Pirate Mothies. I'm going purple.
You're going purple for Pirate Mothy. What do you think, guys? You think he's right or wrong?
I'm going to say I've seen it and say purple.
All right, BBS. What do you think?
I think he's right.
He's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Pirate Mothy, purple eye patch. Next one up. This is actually Pirate Mothy's bunny.
Oh.
So is he?
Oh, this is like a custom.
Yeah, this is his custom. So what do you think? What flags what's he flying? What colors are you flying?
Okay, so if he likes things that are aesthetically pleasing, it's got to be either green, purple, or blue because the hell patch, I feel like just doesn't work with this bunny. Unless he's like, oh, I want to go like flashy and be like Mr. Flashy Pants with the hell eye patch. So
this is Pirate Mothy, another Aussie.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. He's a flashy guy, and I'm gonna go with the hell eye patch. The Aussie gave it away.
And you are right. He is hell. All right. Next one up. BBS knows this one.
Roger.
Well, obviously I know it then too. If BBS knows it, we know what his gang is.
I'm gonna go with blue.
Coming around here.
What did you say? You going with blue?
Did you say, I'm sure you didn't just say blue.
Blue? No.
It's not blue.
It's not right.
It's purple.
Oh, that's right. He's the purple eye patch guy.
The
Dude,
background and the
Yeah.
arrows, it matches with
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah, she's
it's a
beautiful.
good combo with the green.
Oh, poop.
Yeah. All right, next one up.
I saw that one.
Oh,
And I got
Purple.
that from B Hit. I bought that off B Hit.
Purple.
Purple. You're right. It is purple.
I got to close my eyes. Hold on.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
next one up.
yeah. There you go. There we go.
Okay. Okay, well, this is not a matching set because the shield and the arrows are different, which means it's not going to be like a matching.
The green
eye
would look
patch.
good. Sorry.
It would. Is this a custom or is this a generative bunny?
This is a generative one.
Okay,
Yeah.
generative bunny. All right, I'm going
Yes.
to go with blue.
You are right. Blue it is.
I'm going green.
Yeah, good one.
Oh,
Nice.
All right, let me close my eyes.
All right, next one up. This is one holding the nod to the It series, the balloon,
Yep.
the red balloon.
That was also a community, and the
Community
torch.
suggestion.
I think the torch. I think the balloon was a community suggestion, and I want to say the torch was a community suggestion too, because I think
I love
he
the
was
balloon.
drawing the torch in a background, and somebody was like, "Oh, you should have them holding the torch too." I'm gonna go with hell.
I wish.
Oh,
It's good. Yeah, I got this one from Harvey from Bored to Death Club.
I was gonna say purple because it would have been aesthetically pleasing, but I thought maybe the generative machine was like,
Mhm.
screw you, it's not gonna be aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, sometimes it. Yeah, so sometimes it isn't.
Yeah.
All right, how about this one? This one's Disco Furs. He is not a pirate fan, but he owns this pirate.
He loves the
Okay.
pirates.
This is a generative one, right?
This is a generative one. Yes.
Generally,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's gonna be random. Do you like Disco Fur BBS?
Oh, we love him. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, he's purple then.
Good one,
Purple
man.
Eye Patch Gang.
You were right. And this is a beautiful.
Oh,
this is a
I see
beautiful
what
pirate.
you did there. I was in no way leading you to that, by the way.
All right, this is one of John's from Food Fight Studios.
What is this? All purple? What is happening, bro? This is a
Well, you just told me
torture,
the answer.
torture
It's
deck.
purple.
Stop it.
Is it purple? Did he give me the
It
answer?
is purple. Yeah, he spoiled it. Dang it.
All right, let me close my eyes.
Yeah. All right, next one up.
Ooh.
Sad Rabbit Slims.
Oh wait, this has got to be a custom. It's all matchy match. No?
Brian, I see what you're doing here, and I don't appreciate it.
I feel like this one's matchy match. Is this all of BBS's Purple Patch Gang?
No.
Well,
I'm pretty
these
sure
all-
it is. This is a
are these all
publicity
the-
stunt.
are
How
these all
much
the
did he pay you,
pirates?
Brian?
Are these all the pirates that BBS wants to own, and you're just like playing with his emotions?
I am.
Um,
I'm totally racking his emotions right now with
I'm gonna go
torture.
with blue.
Blue. It's purple.
Oh, see, I was
Alright.
like, he's not really gonna do another purple.
See, that's why I'm trying to trick you up.
All right,
And this one's Joe Polizzi's.
Oh, again.
hell, purple.
Purple. It is purple. Yeah. I
Well,
wait.
it's with
I over-indexed on purple. I'm sorry, BBS, but you know.
No,
All right, this one's Creatures.
Is it purple again, BBS?
I can't look. I'm not looking at the screen.
It is
Oh
purple
my
again.
god.
It is purple again. Oh, how about this one?
Okay.
This one would look great green, but I don't know because all the green in this.
It would look
It's not
great green,
though. I'm gonna go with.
but he's probably in the
I'm gonna
gang.
go. It can't be another purple. I'm gonna go blue.
Blue.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
It's
Let's
green!
not go there,
Oh.
surely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now this one. This
It's
one
fine.
looks good with the green and.
Yeah.
All right. How about this one?
Young
Linda
fella.
Ray's.
Blue.
Jeez, Brian.
I'm
really.
hedging my bets. No, purple. Purple. They're laughing. It's purple.
She's in.
It is purple. How about Old Man
Hell.
Gamers?
Hell.
Hell. No.
No, it's
No.
obviously in the gang.
All right. How about this one?
Blue.
Unknown owner.
That's an unknown. Oh no, it's not in the gang. Not in the gang. They're all known,
Going
I'm pretty
blue, then.
sure.
Going blue.
So we can say
Going
that,
blue
right,
here?
BBS?
Going blue?
There's a few that are unknown.
It's purple.
Oh,
we don't know
There's a couple that
sorry,
are in a
Joey.
gold wallet. But yeah, oh my goodness, that was
It was hard
the
for
hell eye
BBS.
patch, the gold eye patch. Like each one of them are just they're
These
pretty
are all beautiful.
awesome.
But yeah, like there are so many cool. I will tell you this: you own something, and I don't know if this is like a thing or not, but like there are some of these ones like you see the magenta eye patch up here.
Yep.
There is the ones with the skull that have a black eye patch, but it doesn't have an eye patch as a trait. And there's a few of those in the collection.
Interesting.
Yeah, and you actually hold one of those. Like
Frank throwing us a curveball.
you have this one right here. Where's it at? Down here at the bottom. Your pirate down here at the bottom.
Yep.
He has the black eye patch, but if you look at his traits, it doesn't say that he has an eye patch. And he's a pirate.
BBS, what's it worth? What's it worth to you, buddy?
I like the quartermaster hat.
What's it worth to you, buddy? Quartermaster hat, coffee mug.
He's
one of the
the
only
arrows.
skull black
he's
eye
playing
patches.
it down. He's playing it down. Look at him.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not in the market, but I guess throw an offer.
And it's got the
Throw a price and I'll see.
and it even on top of that, which makes it even better, it's got the Mel Gibson war paint from.
Yeah.
From
that does have the Gibson paint. You've got one of those up here. Like,
Die Hard.
No, the one where he's like, the one where he's on the Irish movie.
Oh, Braveheart.
Yeah,
Braveheart.
that's the
Braveheart.
That's the Braveheart
That's
paint.
the Braveheart war paint. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got a shaman that has the Braveheart war paint.
Yeah, see,
but you can actually see the war paint on that one. So yeah.
That's a unique
Oh,
one,
yeah, 'cause the
BBS.
mask is covering it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's at least a one funny BBS.
Joey's already sent him a DM too, so check DMs BBS. You'll already have an offer there.
Yeah, there's also one like that that's available right now that GT is selling. So if you're interested in it, there's also one up, right now.
What's he selling it for?
I have no idea.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. There's a wingman there,
he's
right?
clearly undervaluing it. So
he's undervaluing this pirate.
Get him out of the community.
Non-financial advice.
Yeah, non-financial for sure. Yeah. But no, appreciate you paying the game. That was it was not meant to be so many purples. I forgot to switch them out because originally when I was going to play the game with Pirate Mothy last weekend, they were all going to be purple. Every single one of them was going to be purple just to torture BBS because he loves those purple eye patches.
I have 3 of them out of the 13, so I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, and everybody else that holds them.
Did you hear that thing earlier on BBS where Joey said about
they're great people, right? So
I was going to say, you hear?
Wait, who's going? BBS, go.
All right, I'll go. So
I'm going right now. Didn't you hear
patches?
It's the delay patches. From Australia.
I own 3 of
Australian
them.
delay.
Yep.
And there's 10 out there, and 8 of them are owned by, people that have just been in this community grinding.
Yep.
For the whole time. So like, there's no way that these serious collectors are going to be like, oh yeah, I'll trade you this. Like, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And it's fine. So what I did was I kind of baked in. I made like a sub story of what these patches are, and I'm like, I'm gonna invite them like to be a part of that because I think that'll make the story better.
I'll trade you my my skull mask black eye patch for your Spartan.
That's good. We'll put that in the outtakes.
Yeah.
All right, Luke, you're up.
Good. Yeah, Luke, you're up. Sorry.
Mine was situational, but I guess I can say it now. It might not have the same merit it would have before, but didn't you hear Joey earlier, BBS? He gave up a Spartan near and dear to his heart to give it to someone else in the community. Here you are hogging three purple eye patches. But I guess, everyone has a certain level.
Yep.
But
kindness of my heart.
That's a jealousy inside me speaking. That's all we do.
I am not.
Yeah. Thanks, Joey, for being that.
Don't live a regretful life.
BBS obviously missed that.
Don't live a regretful life like me. Keep your purple eye patches, BBS. Don't listen to them.
Yep.
Keep more of your purple eye patches. We got to find out who that unknown owner is so that you can get.
Do I own a purple eye patch?
You do not. You do not.
Oh,
but you own a green one. So
if I did, I would just give it to you, BBS.
Nice.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That like how much worth these things bring within these NFT collections. It's what we find love in them, and BBS has created this whole thing about it, and I absolutely love the idea and what he's done behind it. And it's sick, and getting everyone involved. And now it's like that one unknown, that one. Oh no, you said there's a couple, didn't you say, BBS?
Yeah. So there's
a couple of people that.
Yeah, there's like there's 2 that are in cold wallets that just don't have any names on them. So it's fine, It just I made it like.
So if you are listening right now and you own a pirate, check the patches, mate. See what you got a purple one, because we're in need.
Or you can be a part of a story. That's fine too. Like I am happy to share.
He doesn't have to own them all.
Like, I don't have to own them all.
He's not a completionist. He just
and I wouldn't want to own them all.
So. Yeah. No, there's some cool, definitely some cool pirates. Like that's the great thing is like there's all those different patches. There's different rarities and that kind of stuff. So you don't have to own them all. You can have a variety of them.
Yep.
So is that what you tell yourself, Brian? Is that the completionist? That's what you say?
That's what I call myself as a completionist. You don't need to own everything, Brian. Like just, own one of everything,
Right.
And then you're not beholden to owning all of them. Like you don't have to have everybody's, which is good because I don't have any more money for all those things. Like Yeah, no. But this has been good. We do you guys have any other questions? We've been on with you for 90 minutes now almost. Yeah. So we want to be respectful of your time. Yeah. It's getting late. If you're on the East Coast, and I know you are since you're in the Florida area.
Yep. I've had a good time. Thank you guys.
Yeah, that's good.
No, this was great.
I've had all my questions answered.
Thanks for coming, because I feel like I feel like I've learned a lot, man, hearing your story behind. I didn't realize how in depth you were in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I've been here from the beginning. It just goes to show, like. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, when I talked to John,
thank you, everyone listening.
He said how integral you were to the, to the project at the beginning, getting everything, like you said, the story around the Spartans and everything. He was like, you guys just instrumental, to the success at the beginning of the project and everything. So that's awesome.
Yeah, we put in a lot of hours.
Yeah,
I went to I actually went to Iceland in January of 2022. And it was when we were obviously building the project, and I went and I actually have an Icelandic tattoo, which is part of like some of the lore behind the Vikings and stuff like that. And I was in Iceland literally on vacation, still working on Battle Bunnies when it was just like the 4 of us. But yeah, I love Frank and Christa. Like we always try to stay in contact and talk to each other and get updates. And we all agree that at some point we'll probably all work together again. Just based on, like part of our business will soon be going to all of the Comic Cons and Collecticons and all these type of events where the Battle Bunnies will be, right, showing off their board game and their TCG and all that stuff. So we're definitely going to see each other. We're definitely going to cross paths, and I know there'll come a point where we'll either directly or indirectly like work together again for sure.
That'll be awesome. Yeah, I hope you do. Cool.
But yeah, thank you guys. This was a lot of fun going down memory lane.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that was an amazing show, everyone. And it was really good to hear. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I love hearing the backgrounds for the names of bunnies. I love hearing how people introduced and what an integral, like what parts they came in, and obviously Joey has been a massive integral part of the Battle Bunnies. And and I definitely just wanted to say too, if you do have a King Leonidas, man, I want you to tag Joey in the chats right now. So I'm joking. Maybe don't stir him up like that. But man, it was amazing having him here. He's backstage right now, going,
shaking his head, saying, "Come on, Luke. Come on, Lordell. Like, you don't have to rub it in." But no, you were right. Like, I think he would be deserving holder if he was still the holder of that. But Aaron's now the holder. B had it for a bit. So all great community members. Anybody that's a Spartan holder is a great community member. In my opinion, that's not saying that if you don't have one, that you're not a great community member, but like, it's just great to hear the stories from the people that were there at the beginning and, built it to what it is today, helped create what it is today. Cause we're all here because of that. Like, like I had no idea what a Spartan was a year ago. And now I'm a holder of a few of them. And believe me, they're one of the most coveted things I have in my collectibles collection. Of all the things, physical, digital, that kind of thing. So it's just, it's something that I really enjoy. I love the art, love Frank and Christa, love the stories. His kettlebell Mickey Mouse tattoo and stuff. That's so cool. Like just seeing and hearing that stuff. Now knowing who has that avatar tattoo that I've seen before in Frank's art, Krista's art, that stuff's all cool to finally meet the person that's, that has that. So it was great to meet Joey and just have some fun. Sorry for BBS for playing that game that, like you're probably not happy with me.
That's okay.
But he had a green eye patch one, so I figured I'd mix that in. But yeah, no, that was fun too.
That's good. Yeah, I think like you have a community member that comes on that was a client of Krista's, so you see that like perspective, and then bring like he brought his knowledge to the Battle Bunnies, and then they blended that with their knowledge, and then to have to learn a little bit about the beginning of it was great, and then to learn like, hey, I'm very honest. Like, he said, I'm very honest where I think I'd like to go, but this is where you'd like to go. And we're not meeting head to head. So let's, amicably just part ways a little bit, but I'll still stay in touch. Like, I love the honesty of that. And the, just being able to see like what Frank and Christa have done with this community and IP. Because in the beginning we would call it a project, right? Oh, what project are you in? Or this is an NFT project. It's more than that for me. It's definitely an IP, a brand. And so to see what they've done in 2 years, like it's not even a roadmap anymore. I mean, a traditional roadmap in 2022 would have been like 4 items, like, hey, we're going to launch the website today. We're going to launch an NFT. Then we're going to do this. Oh, and then you might get that. Or in the very beginning, buy this
maybe a merch
NFT
store or something else.
Have some good vibes. Right now, it's literally, you could put this across your whole wall of what they've done, month by month, whether it's launching successful collections that sell out, or a TCG, a novel, a second novel that's right now in the community's hands, reading it to kind of fine tooth, go through the book a little bit, for a select few, not the entire community is going through the book, but just seeing that wide breadth of everything is pretty awesome. And just like Joey's very busy, he's a busy guy, right? He's got a business and family, and for him to come in here and spend time with us and just chat, just humbled by that, and thanks Joey for doing that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Really
So a great community member, another puzzle piece to the Battle Bunny world that we get to uncover. And I just, I know the Fluffle is going to love this one.
Yeah. Agree 100%. Well, thanks everybody. If you're not already subscribed, definitely hit the bell so that you get alerted when new episodes drop. Make sure that you're subscribing, clicking all the things. Like we'd love to hear from you. So make your comments. Tell us like what you would like to, what questions you have. I think we want to do some AMAs in the month of June. So ask your questions, send a question to BBS or, to Luke or I, and we'll answer your questions on a future podcast. Yeah, for sure. And we'll make sure Luke answers them, all of them, all the questions.
All the questions will be answered by Luke.
I was nervous because BBS is the master at that, but that could be a new segment. All right, Luke, answer the question.
Ask Luke. Ask Lord L. Yeah.
Can I phone a friend?
Nice
Phone a friend.
to it.
BBS.
Nice ring to it. I like that. So yeah,
you've been good at questions. You ask a lot of good questions. I like your questions.
Yeah. So summer months, I know getting guests on the show is going to be difficult in June and July. So ask away your questions, send them in. We'll do a special.
We're coming for you, Glock.
There we go. Yeah, we definitely want to have Glock on the show. Well, thanks everybody. Again.
Thank you.
We'll again next week. Have a great one. Thank you for joining us today, Ultimate Fan. BBS, Lord L, and Brian, that's me, do hope you enjoyed today's program as much as we did, where Ultimate fans like you are the stars of the show. We'd be honored to have you join us on a future episode where you can share your story and love of the Battle Bunnies with this encouraging community. It would be the greatest compliment if you shared something you love about the Battle Bunnies on your favorite social platform today like X, Facebook, or Instagram and tagged us. Or simply use hashtag #UltimateFancast so we can recognize and celebrate with you and other super fans by sharing your post. Bonus points if you do both and use an image of one of your favorite Battle Bunnies or a screenshot of this episode. We know you share, like, and comment because you care about our fellow Ultimate fans as much as we do. Please leave comments too to let us know how we can make this the greatest fan experience for the Battle Bunnies community. This podcast is sponsored by Hairstream Media, your bunnies all the time streaming service. Okay, not really. It is just us fans like you giving some of our time to support other fans like you. Join us over in the Battle Bunnies community and Discord to continue the fun. We hope you tune in with us each week. So make it easy. Subscribe now. We'll be here to keep you hopping when you need us.